and 2. There's a look inside Ford Field here in downtown Detroit, the Motor City. Today it's week 4, and we've got what should be a great one here, as it'll be the Atlanta Falcons taking on the Detroit Lions. On the visitors' sideline, their head coach. His guys coming off a win to push their record to 2-1 here in the first month of the season. Across the field on the Lions sideline, Dan Campbell. His guys ready to feed off the energy. Atlanta now coming out on the field. For the first time with Bijan Robinson. And a stretch of only about a yard up to the 32. He's tackled it. The numbers in last week's ball game for Robinson. 16 carries, 59 yards, and a touchdown.
It's a pretty mediocre week for him on the ground. Certainly a boon to his offense if he can get a little more output on his touches this week. He should get some more early carries as his team tries to get him into a rhythm.
Treads him with a stiff arm. And he has a big gain inside the 40 before being dropped. Good yardage after the catch. Is that play good for 30 and a first? Robinson up the middle. And maybe a little over pursuit there as he's able to take this down to the 25-yard line. This gain not quite as good as the last, but still over 40 yards between the two.
First and 10 at the 25-yard line.
Back to throw now on first down. And Watson has it right side.
Sharps pass.
That's good. The completion there for 7 yards. And it'll be second down.
7. Brings up second and 3.
Straight ahead, it's Robinson. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back on into the line of scrimmage.
Taken down right at the line of scrimmage.
Calling no gain that time as it's going to leave him with a third and about 3 to go. Back to throw. Sharp. And he will not be able to hang on to the contact. It's incomplete. The coverage strong, and now it's fourth down.
Well, they've got man coverage on the outside, and my scouting report on these DBs tells me that they love to take matters in their own hands. They want man coverage, not zone. And there was good coverage there that forced the incompletion.
So for the second time in this one, we get set to see the Falcons offense. They've got a 3-0 lead and the football as they start first and 10. Off the play fake. Sharp. That's blown downfield by London. And they're going to get this all the way out past the 20.
It's a
nice gain of 21 yards. Now they can breathe a little easier, some room to operate as they've got it first and 10 now out past the 20. A give left side to Robinson. And he will lose yardage on the play. Back at his own 19-yard line. 2 yards the loss, second and 12.
Second and 12 at the 19-yard line.
Looking to throw. Sharp. And his throw here is going to be incomplete. Looked like he had a couple of different options as far as who to throw to on that play. And who am I to say this, but I'm not sure he made the right decision.
Well, the window of opportunity is always going to be small in the NFL. That's why those quarterbacks who make quick decisions and have quick releases have the most success in this league.
Short completion, just 4 yards, and it'll be fourth down.
Well, we hear so often how tackling has become almost a lost art in the NFL game, but it's so important to tackle well on these receivers, especially in a play like this one. Third down, they gave him the underneath stuff. You got to go up and make the tackle right away.
Comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. These guys definitely hoping for a better showing than their last appearance. They couldn't really even move the football much beyond the shadows of their own goalpost, Charles. We'll see if they can get a better, more sustained drive going here.
Yeah, and every team that we ever talk to says the exact same thing. When you start a drive from that deep in your own territory, the goal is a minimum of at least 2 first downs, because even if you have to punt then, you change the field position, right? You flip the field a little bit. They didn't get that done. This time they want to string together a nice drive and help themselves out.
Over the middle, it's complete. And they're well past midfield, just a yard or two shy of the 40. The Falcon passing game looking good on this drive as they get the first down.
42-yard line.
Robinson, he'll try the left side. And the running lane's non-existent in this first half as they'll stop him behind the line. So their task a little bit more difficult now. 2nd and 13 that they're walking up on. Back to throw. Sharp. Now he'll tuck this and run. And he'll get it down on the play to the 37. He turned that into a nice gain. Gets him 8 yards closer for 3rd down. They'll need 5 on this play to move the sticks. And that is incomplete. Getting there for the breakup of the throw. That was Kirby Joseph. Atlanta now coming out on the field. Now they're about to come up on drive number 4, but so far just 2 field goals on drives 1 through 3.
Wondering if the head coach has talked with his offense coordinator and said, look, let's go ahead and press this a little bit. I'm giving you 4 downs on just about every occasion to try and get this offense kick-started and have it culminate in touchdowns. You know, maybe something to press it a little bit. This might be the case.
2nd and 10. Operating from the gun. Sharp. Into the hands of London. 4 yards the gain, and it'll bring up a 3rd down.
It's a gain of 4, and it's 3rd down.
Operating from the gun. Sharp. Oh, tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And they're already in the red zone. The 18-yard line is where they take over. CD, I know it's just his 2nd year in the league as a quarterback, but that's going to be one when he flips on the tape. He's like, I shouldn't have thrown that ball.
No doubt about it, and his coaching staff will be emphatic about he shouldn't have thrown that ball. But remember, 2nd year, as you noted, on-the-job training, so he's got to take this feedback that he's getting, negative or otherwise, and turn it into positives moving forward.
So now the Lions go on offense in a great starting spot. His interception on that last drive set the other guys up pretty good. They had solid field position. They cashed in with a touchdown. Now he's got to try to get things right here. 1st and 10. They go back to the air here after the INT on the last drive. That's out wide here for Robinson. He's brought down at the 34. Call it a gain of 4.
2nd and 6. At the 34-yard line.
Operating from the gun. Sharp. Wide open receiver complete. He's to the 15. Touchdown, Falcons. A great effort there with his first career NFL touchdown. And the Falcons are able to cut into this lead in the final seconds of the first half.
All you hear from coaches and personnel directors in the NFL, how difficult it is for a rookie receiver to have an impact on the game. So much to learn, so much offense to absorb. Looks like he's picking it up pretty well.
I would say so. And how about that for your first career NFL touchdown?
I don't know that he envisioned it quite that way, but if he was smart, he probably dreamed about it a little bit.
Here comes the Falcons offense. It's their first possession of the second half now. And their deficit a little wider now than it was at halftime following the field goal a moment ago.
But the goal is still the same because you know they want to come out, establish a rhythm in the second half, and get going. Make no mistake about it, though. Kicking field goals, not in their game plan. They need to get the ball in the end zone.
This pass is caught by London. And getting this just shy of midfield, they'll spot it at the 49. The drive starting play, a good one. Give him 19. So one play, and they're already just shy of midfield. Operating from the gun. Sharp. Short throw caught by Pitts. And he'll be out just a yard or two shy of the 30.
A gain of 19 yards. That's another Falcons first down. First and 10 at the 32-yard line.
Back-to-back good plays have them on the move on first down. Hand off now to Robinson. And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at second down.
Ryan Branch on the tackle. A gain of 4. It's now second and
Looking to
6
throw.
at the
Sharp.
28-yard line.
And that is going to be incomplete as he let him a bit too much. Just a little beyond the reach there of his receiver. That's probably one he wishes he had back.
He wishes it had been 7-on-7 in practice, or maybe even routes versus air, because that's a completion he makes, but 9.9 times out of 10, just missed that one.
Fourth down.
So out come the Falcons now. And tough to win games if you're going field goal, field goal, field goal here. They got field goal last time. Now they'll be looking for a touchdown.
They're looking for the big chunk now because, as you noted, the field goal way of doing it makes it that much harder and puts more pressure on every possession for you now. Go ahead and get 6 and feel a lot more comfortable about the position they're in.
Little chunks. We'll see if they can get the score. Operating from the gun. Sharp. And he rifles one incomplete.
And this drive is almost over before it began thanks to a great defensive effort. Sacked on first down, followed by an incompletion, one more good rep, and they get off the field.
And that is incomplete, but a penalty flag coming in. This could be a first down. Some boos coming down right now from this home crowd after that call.
Yeah, and that was because of the pass interference call, but for a second there I thought maybe they'd gotten a look at my appearance as Othello in the high school play.
You were Othello?
Not a good one, let me tell you.
Now on first down, he'll drop to throw it. Middle of the field, it's Robinson. So 5 yards here, 5 on the play. And that'll make it second down.
It's a gain of 5. Brings up second and 5.
Back to throw. Sharp. Looking middle, and that's complete.
And the Falcons first down.
We have played 3 quarters. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Back now at Ford Field. It's the Falcons. They'll have the football, but trailing on the scoreboard as we get set to begin the 4th. They'll look to throw again. Rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Jack Campbell with a pick. And the Lions will take over here as they get it up to the 43-yard line.
Intercepted.
Comes this field general once more, leading his offense back onto the field. And that interception that ended their previous drive likely also ended any shot they had at victory.
Yeah, long road back from here, no doubt about that one. But let's face it, if you're going to go out there and compete, you want to try and end on a strong note, don't you?
Absolutely. It won't end in a victory, like you said, but they can maybe take something positive out of this one.
A gain of 10 yards. And the Falcons first down.
They'll look to throw now on first down. And he's going to be intercepted a 3rd time. And he will return this one to the 30-yard line.
Intercepted. The Lions take over.
Here comes the Falcon offense now as they get set to take over here. And they've sort of lost their way, partner. How do they recalibrate and get this proverbial train back on track?
Well, this is where leadership really comes into play. How's the head coach handling it? The offensive coordinator? Sometimes they just make a joke. All right, guys, had your fun? All right.
Throw it out the window.
Yeah,
the ball comes out. But this will get out of bounds, so possession will stay the same.
Gain of 10 yards. A fumble on the play. Out of bounds. The offense retains
On first
possession.
down, he'll drop to throw. That one caught downfield by Watson. And finally, he's taken down at the 18. So from inside the 20, here's 1st and 10 at the 18.
Falcons, first down. 1st and 10.
Operating from the gun. Sharp. To the goal line, but it's incomplete. Now a 2nd and 10.
Brings up 2nd and 10.
Again, he'll drop to throw. On the RPO, he'll keep it himself. And he'll take it into the end zone. Touchdown, Atlanta. From 17 yards out. And the Falcons get a small measure of revenge as they cut into this 4th quarter deficit. Well, the defensive coverage was good, so good he just decided to make a play of his own, and it worked out.
Yeah, you often wonder if they think to themselves, was the coverage too good to allow him to run the football? I think you'd rather take your chances with him doing exactly that, and he beat him on that play all the way to the end zone.
Falcons back out, getting set for this next drive. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, it's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
2nd and 2.
The numbers throwing the ball have been great. He's up over 300 yards now for the game. 2 yards to go, 2nd down. Looking to throw. Sharp. Over the middle, caught by London. And able to get it across the 20 before they get to him. They call his number again. It's his 6th catch and a 1st down.
Well, I can put my defensive cap on right now, and I know they're saying don't give up any big plays now. They've controlled this game throughout, and all they want to do is see it through to the end. I think they let their guard down a little bit with that last completion. Sometimes when you're trying not to give up bigger plays, you don't react as fast as you should on other throws.
10 more yards. He's brought down at the 31.
On 2nd down, another shot for Robinson. And they get him down, but not before he takes it across the 40-yard line. A higher scoring game, Charles, than we typically see in the National Football League, but fun to watch these offenses. They were really clicking. It seemed like everything that they dialed up worked.
Yeah, it certainly was fun to watch from our perspective. How'd you like to be those defensive coaches, though? That wasn't a blast for them at all. And let's face it, they all game plan, they all scout, they all think they're prepared. But executing and stopping teams, that's another matter entirely.
So for the Lions,